We're here at Butlins Bognor Regis. You find me filming this on our final night, the Thursday night of our 4-night, 5-day Christmas Festive Wonderland break. We're going to start with the positives because, as with our last Butlins review, this is an honest review. So if you just want to hear the negatives, then skip to near the end because we'll get to those at the end. But we will start with the positives, and that is the big elephant in the room. The brand new, much delayed for 2024 Play Xperience. In our last honest review, we had a few reservations about whether or not this would be any good, whether the Play Token Xperience would be any good, but, and I do say but because Butlins have managed to pull this one out of the bag, I think anyway. I think that the Play Xperience itself, and we'll delve a bit deeper into it, is very good. And I think if you buy the Play tokens in advance, it can wind up being quite good value for money. It is a great investment into this resort, and it is a great way to fill your time. So we got 20 Play tokens, and we bought them in advance, and they cost £100. So that was £5 per Play token, and then anything you want to do within Play Xperience and some other things here on resort, they cost those Play tokens. For example, we did 5 different things because there are 4 of us, 2 adults, 2 children, myself, Chrissy, Dexter, Lila. We began our Play Xperience with laser tag on Tuesday morning. It was so much fun. They took into account my disabilities and changed my gun into one-handed mode so I could use my walking stick. I didn't have to run, it was all completely level. It was an hour's worth of play, and it cost 1 token per person, 4 tokens for all of us. That's £5 per person when bought in advance. Now, we will get to why buying in advance is quite important in a minute. Secondly, we wanted to try out the Tech Putt. Now, the Tech Putt is their brand new indoor 9-hole golf courses. They've got 3 of them. They've got music, they've got neon, they've got Vegas. In fact, there are 2 videos going to be on the channel of music and Vegas in full, and we just wanted to have a game out on neon. These, once again, cost 1 token per person to play, and we played all 3 of them. So that took up 12 of our tokens, but we did them over the course of 3 different days. So we did 1 a day. That winds up being £5 a person for a 9-hole Tech Putt, which is really good because technology involved takes away all of the hassle of having to score. It's all done for you. It reads your ball, it knows who's playing, it knows how many swings you've taken, it knows if you've gone for an extra super shot to get points, and it knows what your score is, and it keeps it on a tally on a screen above you. Finally, we did the 7 Seas escape room. Now, this was book per room, not per person. So 4 tokens, £20, still wound up being £5 a person for a 1-hour escape room experience. Once again, we filmed most of that, and you will see most of that out on the channel. We'll try not to spoil it and spoil the answers for the people, but we'll give an overview of what you get and what the experience is. But once again, for £5 a person, you're allotted a 60-minute time. And there are 4 different escape rooms here. 7 Seas is the one that's more catered towards children, and we have 2 young children, so we figured we'd just go for that one. And still, it wasn't easy. We did beat it in what the lady said was a very quick time. It was well under 40 minutes. So she bought us a bonus box, which we then had to unlock. And then inside was like a cryptex and 2 other boxes, which we then had to go back through the couple of rooms that are there in order to work out how to open. It was so much fun, and all for £5 per person when bought in advance. And once again, I have to stress that. So I think overall, the Play Xperience, which is just outside my window down there, is one of the best investments into this resort in years. In fact, I would even rate it above the newish swimming pool. And I really like Splash, but we did go in there twice. The first time we went in around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it was dead. But the second time, We went in this morning and it was rammed. I felt like a sardine in a can. Being neurodivergent and having a neurodivergent child, it was a little bit uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie. A little bit uncomfortable. Also, I will chuck in a negative when it comes to Splash, because the family raft slide, it used to have an elevator for the rafts. So they put it on and it'd go up. And apparently that's been broken for a very, very long time now. And instead of fixing it, they've just sort of screwed it shut at the top with wood. And then they make you carry the rafts up, I think it's 6 or 7 flights of stairs yourself. But for somebody like me who is disabled, who has a son that wants to do it, well, it wasn't good, put it that way. It was extremely difficult, and it didn't feel like any help was forthcoming. Another huge positive, I think, from this Christmas Festive Wonderland break was the Santa experience, which was such a step up from years previous. Years previous, it's been a little show in Reds, and then they drop the selection box down a little chute and the children come and take the selection box. But this year, it was in the hospitality suite or the conference center or whatever you want to call it, and it was amazing. There was a long wait to get into it, but you went into your first room, which was kind of like an elf workshop, I guess. The kids wrote their letters to Santa. We then waited in front of an elevator. The letters to Santa were handed off to a redcoat, who then posted them to the North Pole. We went into this elevator. We were transported magically, videos and such, to the North Pole, and out we came directly into Santa's workshop. Santa had obviously received the letters and already knew the children's name as we walked out. There was a lovely interaction with Santa. There was photographs, and then they got the obligatory Cadbury selection box, because that's what they always give the kids here. But it was still such a lovely thing that you didn't pay any extra for at all. Same with the Christmas decoration making. We did that this morning, and it was in the Arts and Crafts Centre, which was formerly the Fish and Chips restaurant. The kids got to make these wonderful little candle holders that were shaped like snowflakes, and they got to use foam clay, which we had never experienced before. The stuff is so weird. It's like a mixture of little foam balls and slime putty, but my God, it doesn't leave any residue. It doesn't make a mess. The stuff was great. It was all completely free, and they got to take the decoration home. And once again, all of that included. Remember, this break, if you've seen our room tour, for room only, was £78 for 4 nights in the Ocean Hotel here at Butlins Bognor Regis, with the swimming pool, Santa Xperience, the decoration making, all of the shows that you would normally get, Funfair, all of that chucked in. Obviously, things we did in the play experience, that's separate. I'm nearly going to tell you that the Christmas decorations here were amazing. They were good. I'm not going to say they were amazing. I'm not going to say they were great. I think there may have been budget cuts, because there are a couple of Christmas trees, a couple of light up stars, and a couple of light up arches, and that was really it. They were promised in the advertisement a festival of light. Don't think they delivered when it came to that. Let's get now into the negatives. And there are some negatives, because this is an honest review. This is Real Review UK. Premium dining. Now, we did knock this in May. We ate once again at the Deck restaurant for all 4 nights of our trip here. I didn't even bother filming in there this year because it's somehow got worse. It had got bad, but now it's got worse. And once again, the price has gone up. The offerings were severely diminished from May even. And even in May, they were severely diminished from the time before. To the point now where all 4 nights, there has been, I would say, a good 30% of the entire buffet taken up by a pizza station with just pepperoni and cheese pizza on it every night. Now granted, the kids love the pizza, and obviously kids do, but this is an expensive dining option. It cost at least 3 times the amount the room did. So once again, they used to have themed nights, and I think they vaguely still do, but it used to be distinct. There was, Asian/Chinese night, there was Indian night, there was always a carvery deck with different meat. There was only one night that I actually found pleasant, and that was on Tuesday, and that was Christmas dinner, where they had turkey, pigs in blankets, Yorkshire puddings, and that's pretty much all I ate. And I'm a fussy eater, and I always used to find that the deck catered for me. It catered for the taste of my wife, who is not a fussy eater, my children, one of whom is an extremely fussy eater, Lila, and one of whom will eat anything, Dexter. They had these wonderful things like the grill station, which is still there, but just chucking out really quite horrible food. I had a chicken breast off it this evening, and oh, it was so dry it almost felt like ash in my mouth. That's how bad it was. And the pasta station is still there, but all of the ingredients that were used previously, even in May, have now been reduced. They've been reduced in quality, they've been reduced in amount. The food offerings have gone down and down and down and down to the point where it is worse than what standard food court dining used to be here. It is no longer a premium option. They don't really sell it as a premium option. They call it hotel dining now. And I think that'll be their way of getting around it. But it was always, right up until about, I would say, mid-2023. It was always still really, really, really good. They had cod and chips, and then, yeah, as I said in the last review, that went down to nondescript fish and chips, and then now it's scampi. It's just got to the point where the price once again went up. It was more expensive than it was in May, and the options went down. Now I understand, as I said in our last review, inflation exists, it is a thing, it is happening. But when you're passing that inflation on to the customer as price, you should not be diminishing what's on offer. You should be offering at least the same, because clearly that is what they are doing when the price goes up. They are passing the inflationary cost of the product onto the customer, but they're trying to get away with buying a subpar option. And don't get me started on the atmosphere in there. I had a staff member come to me and literally use the term feral to describe some of the people. And I'm not using that term. I'm telling you what was said to me last night by a member of staff, because I was simply waiting nicely to pick up it was a piece of cake. And I don't really even eat sweets, but I thought last night I'm gonna have a piece of cake. It looked quite nice. And the man literally pushed in front of me while I'm standing there on my walking stick and took every piece of cake that was there. And a staff member used the term feral, and it did seem sometimes like it was the first meal some people had had in months. It was just such a weird and panicked atmosphere to be in there. It was so oversold. It was so busy. At points people were waiting for one out, one in to get into the restaurant, that it's going to push us to not choose that option again. We're done with their hotel/premium dining. We're never going to book it again, because it's just not a pleasant or premium experience anymore, and the price has only gone up. Now let's move on to the Funfair. Now the Funfair is the same as it pretty much has been since we first started coming here. And that's a problem, because the rides are cold, they look tired. Yeah, they try and maintain them, but it's an old carousel, an old chair swing. And when you go and look at Skegness, for example, yeah, they don't have the play experience, but they have put in some new rides like Zamperla, Nebulous and Giant Swing and stuff like that. And they have revitalised their Funfair. And Bognor Regis so far has not received the Funfair revitalisation treatment. This is not our first rodeo when it comes to a Christmas break at Butlins. And on every Christmas break, and I mean every Christmas break we've ever been on, until this one, on a Wednesday or a Thursday night, the Funfair would reopen, I believe at 8 PM until 10 PM for a late night Funfair festive Christmas session with all the lights on. It would look great, it was a load of fun, it was ice cold, but everybody always had a blast. Once again, budget cuts, because no late night Funfair. They do, however, I am going to chuck in a little positive here. seem to have remedied the situation with the pool from May. Now I believe in May it was 10 till 3. This break it's been 9 until 4. I said go 10 till 5. 9 till 4 is exactly the same. And I do think that that's absolutely fine. You know, for something that's included in the price, 9 till 4, not an issue. And I mean, the Funfair was 10 till 4, I believe. Yes, we paid up front for our play tokens. We have not found ourselves bored. We have had so much to do, and actually on resort, we have spent a lot less money than we did in May because we had stuff booked up and ready to go. Now let me take you back to that in advance that I've been talking about, because take for example our escape room. Our escape room cost 4 play tokens for the room. Bought in advance in a bundle for £100. That's £20. It costs 4 tokens, £5 a token. Now next year, 2025, those tokens may even go up in price in advance. Because I actually think that that £20 that we paid for that room was bloody good value for money. And I think my wife over there, she completely agrees with me. If you went to book it here and you couldn't book it, it was sold out. The rooms were gone. You couldn't actually book one. We had to book ours in advance, but you couldn't book one. But if you wanted to and there was one available, those 4 play tokens would have cost you £36. That's £9 a token. That's almost double the price. So if you're going to do this and you're going to go and use the play experience, which is only available at Butlins Bognor Regis, mind you, it's not at Minehead, it's not at Skegness. Please, for the love of God, book your tokens in advance, because you will save so much money if you want to do these things. It really is worth doing, and I actually think everything we got out of the play experience was £5 a person for every activity. And I think it was well worth the money. And I think it's, as I said at the beginning of this review, such a great addition to this resort. I was on the fence about it. I didn't think that the play token thing would be good. And to be honest with you, I was wrong. I was wrong. It is very good. Now, hopefully they don't see that people are having a great time and people think that it's great value for money and whack the prices up in advance. I can see that happening, and I can see that happening pretty fast. Or sneakily, they'll keep them the same prices, or all of a sudden an escape room will be 5 tokens per person. A golf course will be 2 tokens per person. But otherwise, I really do think it's good. Now, can I recommend the Christmas Wonderland or Christmas Festive Wonderland break here at Butlins Bognor Regis? Yes. Yes, I can. But we do give you all of those caveats and say if you're going to book dining, don't bother with the hotel/premium dining. If you can afford it, the more expensive dine-around plan is probably going to be better for you. You can choose a different place to eat each and every night, or you just go self-catering. These dining plans have become a joke. They are just not what they used to be. They're more expensive and you get far less. Honourable mentions. We want to give Jessica at Laser Tag, I believe not just Laser Tag, but play experience as a whole, a really, really good compliment in this video, because she was great with us. She was great with our daughter, who was very nervous and very worried about the laser tag. Fantastic. Amelia in the escape room, who was our guide for the entire experience, and she kept telling us, I'm on your team. She made it that little bit easier, and not only easier, but fun. And then when it comes to the deck, a man called Gregory, who was clearing up the plates and clearing the tables, but still taking the time to interact with the kids, and just generally all round be a lovely guy. But not only those three, the staff here are always fantastic, and obviously Teresa, if you are watching this, we absolutely adore you. Our children absolutely adore you, and the staff, especially Teresa, are a big part of the reason that we come back year in and year out. As my wife just said, it's very special that people like Teresa and other members of staff here on the resort have known our son, our daughter, since they were 4 and 2, and remember them every time we come back, remember us every time we come back, remember their names. It makes it for us and it makes it for them. As I said, this time round, I can recommend it, but with the caveats that there are some things that are still very wrong. And if you're going to do the play experience, which we recommend, and there are not just the things that we did in there, there's a VR arcade, there's digital darts, there's shuffleboard, there's a batting cage, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. If you're going to do it, make sure you buy those tokens in a bundle and buy them in advance, and I think you'll come out thinking it was great value for money, because right now it is. And one more aside, they've torn down an old play park outside the pub. It was really old, tattered, splintery, and kids were probably getting hurt on, that was outside of the old pub, and they've put in like a brand new, it's not Sky Park level, but like they have done at the other resorts, but it is a brand new play park with brand new play equipment, and I think it's sort of gearing towards being a sensory thing as well. So they are updating, and the play park next to the Shoreline Hotel is, for the time being at least, closed down. They may be renovating it, they may be removing it, we're not sure at this time. It is closed, it is old, it is tired, it is tatty, so maybe an update is coming. Who knows? Those are our thoughts on this break. What are your thoughts on what I've had to say here? Have you been to one of these Christmas Festive Wonderland breaks here in 2024? And do you agree with what I have had to say here? And of course, as always, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for watching this one. We will speak to you again with another honest review about another place or another thing very soon. Bye for now.